Well, you don't have to have the TV on long to see the unavoidable. Political ads, political action committees, companies, special interest groups pouring hundreds of millions of dollars into ad campaigns to influence voters leading up to the election. Joining us to talk about the ads this unusual pandemic year is San Diego State professor Michael Belch. Welcome.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. It's so great to talk to you. I want to ask you, it is an unusual year with the pandemic. Are we seeing as much money as we typically would in a presidential year behind the ads on television?
Yeah, I think the numbers are still up there, particularly for Biden, who's had a tremendous influx of contributions and backing. Trump's numbers, as far as the amount of money he has to spend, has been down, but there's still a lot of advertising going on out there, and I imagine it will right up till Election Day. On the propositions, there's some of them clearly. If you turn on TV at all, you know what I'm talking about with Prop 22 and Prop 23, and to a lesser degree some of the others. But there's still a lot of money behind some of those as well.
Now, negative ads, of course, are nothing new. We see these all the time during major election years, especially when it's something that's hotly contested. Have you noticed anything this year that may be unusual, or is it the same as we've usually seen?
I hate negative advertising, and I've always, years ago when I started watching and trying to figure out why are they doing this, and the reason they're doing it is, unfortunately, because it seems to work. And a lot of people, I think, aren't as familiar with the issues as they should be. And one of the best ways to, I guess, to get to them is through negative advertising. And so I don't think it's particularly more this year than any other year. It's been going on now for a number of years.
Now, interestingly, the ads that I have seen with regard to candidates, there haven't been a ton that actually reference the pandemic. They seem to be wanting to stay away from that. What do you think about that strategy?
Again, if you look at a lot of the local ads for local candidates and so forth, it really are a lot of attack stuff. Nobody seems to be focusing much on any issues really, other than just ripping the other candidate. And as far as the pandemic's concerned, it's a touchy subject, and it can be very divisive, as we know, on a national level, from the standpoint of wearing masks versus not wearing masks. And I've never seen something like a pandemic being political, and not necessarily I've seen a pandemic before, but certainly this whole divide on wearing a mask and not wearing a mask, it's kind of crazy.
You mentioned that negative ads seem to work. Why is that? We hear over and over from citizens, from viewers, that they don't like them like you don't. They don't want to see them, and yet why do they work?
It's a good question. As I said before, my theory is that they work because people aren't aware of the issues, and so they take the sound bites. And they look at the sound bites and they say, well, this person backs Trump, or this person doesn't back Trump, or this person's a cheater, or this person's not a cheater. And that's what they make their decision on. Unfortunately, there's two things going on here. One is people aren't as informed as they should be in an election year. And secondly, the fact that they're not policed. If you were McDonald's and you ran some of the ads critiquing Burger King or someone and saying the things that these politicians say against each other, you'd be in court tomorrow morning. But politicians aren't subject to the same rules and regulations, and so some of the things they do with ads are actually frightening. You take things out of context, you distort things, you lie, straight out lie, and there's no consequences. So the net result is that people really don't make decisions based on the issues. They make decisions based on critique of the other candidate.
Very interesting. San Diego State professor Michael Belch, thank you so much for sharing your insights with us.
You're welcome. Have a good day.